Elden Ring's weapon skills are overpowered. So overpowered that you can beat the entire game with that alone. So today I thought I'd redo this video because not only was it shit, but I was also using what I didn't know at the time, a glitch. So how do we fix that? Well, it's simple. Redo the playthrough, give it a new title, and put a fuck ton of restrictions. Rule number 1, I am only allowed to deal damage to enemies through weapon skills. And for this challenge, the first weapon skill I use will be the only weapon skill that I'm allowed to use. Just for fun, I'm not allowed to use any weapon that's upgraded by somber smithing stones. Now you're probably still thinking that's completely fine. And while you're totally correct, I'd like to put to your attention that because of the first 2 rules, all of these skills are completely unusable. Example 1, Scarabs. These contain amazing skills that can pretty much win the entire game. But consider this, how would you kill the Scarab? You can't use weapons, and if you use a weapon skill, then you'd have to only use that weapon skill for the entire game. And I think that's about it for explanations. Let's start. The first order of business is to go into Gatefront Ruins and down the cellar to get the Wet Blade Knife and the Storm Stomp Ash of War. Now you might think it's completely useless in PvE, but it actually has a secret ability that you didn't know about. That is, if you never use it, you completely forget that it exists. Which is exactly what we'll be doing as I head straight to the Weeping Peninsula. Here, I'll stop by this carriage to get the Morningstar Hammer. This will come in handy later. Continuing on that path, I'll stumble upon Castle Morn. Going up and past the crowd, I'll find this chest that will give me the Claymore. This weapon comes with the Ash of War Lion's Claw. And if by the end of making this video, I still decided to put Storm Stomp in the thumbnail, I'm very sorry for clickbaiting you. Anyways, this skill is amazing. It makes you do a 360 spin in the air and drop your weapon on the ground, doing massive damage, poise damage, and style points. This would already serve me well, but I still had other plans. I wanted to do a pure strength build for multiple reasons. For the weapons that Lion's Claw can be placed on, colossal strength weapons do the most damage and have the best pure scaling. On top of that, they also do more poise damage, although I wasn't sure at the start if this was actually the case. And for that to happen, I need to be able to put Lion's Claw on other weapons. This can be done by killing this Lion Guardian in Fort Gael, but in my current state, I can't do that. So I went on a giant expedition. First, I went to Port Farrath in Dragon Barrow to get one of the Dectus halves and the Radagon Sword Seal, which finally let me use the Claymore. Then, I went to Mistwood to get another Dectus half, after which I went straight to Liurnia. My main goal is to get more flasks for my FP. I figured I'd have to use quite a bit to kill the Lion Guardian, so I went for as many as I could, although I was too lazy to run back for some of them. Now for the Lion Guardian. You might as well consider this the first boss of this playthrough. It might not be as hard as one, but I still had a hefty time learning the attacks, most of which are composed of big attack, big window. So after more than a couple tries, I finally got it. After that comes the question, what do I put it on? Well, for now that would be the Morning Star, because it comes with a 50 bleed buildup, useful for one specific thing in particular, Elder Dragon Grail in Dragon Barrow. The cool thing about this is that even if I run out of FP, I'll still be able to trigger the bleed buildup. The uncool thing is that it takes a literal millennia to actually do it. But anyways, 90,000 runes. These I spent on a bunch of strength, mind, and bigger. What? And my newfound strength now lets me use the Great Mace, which I got from a camp on Bellum Highway. This is the best pure strength weapon that I can get for now. Now that we've got the Ash of War and a decent weapon, I focused on other things for now. First, I got the Star Scourge Heirloom in Fort Gael for +5 strength. Then I did Blight side quests, so he would refer me to EG, which will only then sell me the Carrion Filigree Crest that reduces FP cost of skills. Then, I got the Strength Knot Crystal tier in Stormhill for a temporary 10 strength in my physic. After that, I went to Raelicaria Cave and Altus Cave to get 2 smithing stone belts, because I just felt too lazy to run around and get smithing stones. After that, I went to the capital outskirts to get the Giant Crusher Colossal Hammer. I didn't actually know that a Rotworm spawns here, so just listen to my reaction. Let me in! I got it, yeah! Now the plan for this part is actually to use the mace until I get enough strength to use the Giant Crusher, until I realize that two-handing the thing increases my effective strength by 50%, putting my current 41 strength just over the requirement to wield the Crusher. So I upgraded it and just rolled with that. The reason I chose the Giant Crusher is because I'm pretty sure this is the highest damage melee weapon with an S scaling in strength. Why does this matter? Well, if you put Lion's Claw on any weapon, the speed, and lag, stamina, and FP cost of your one attack will always be the same. However, the damage and poise damage will depend on what weapon you're using. So if you're gonna have the same moveset across a variety of weapons, why not have the strongest one? And that's all for today's strength grug lesson. Moving on. Next, I had to do some grinding. A lot of grinding. My build needs 4 stats to be in optimal conditions. Strength for the damage, vigor for the hyper armor face tanking, FP for more skill uses, and stamina so I don't become a rock by the time I finish an attack. So I beat Margot for Talisman Slot, Clean Rot Duo for the Gold Scarab, Patches for Foul Feet, Dragon Barrow Avatar for 100,000 runes, and a bunch bunch of other bosses from different sides of the map for more runes. I also took down Godric and Renala for another talisman pouch. Then, I did a Volcano Manor quest for a good armor set. I'd be face tanking a lot for this skill, and because of the hammer, I'll never be able to get light load, so I embraced the armor lifestyle. This included getting the Arsenal Charm from the Altus Tunnel as well. I also killed the Godskin Noble in Volcano Manor. You'll see me using the Banished Knight's sword here, and that's because Godskin enemies are pretty resistant to strike damage from my hammer, so I thought using a sword would make my damage better. This is where I found out that the weapon type does affect the poise damage of this skill. Then, I went to General Moradin for another 100,000 runes. Doing this will lead me to Alexander Jar so I can kill him and get his shard. This will increase Lion Claw's damage by another 10%. And no, I'm not waiting for Fire Mazula just to get a slightly better charm. Then, I killed the Draconic Tree Sentinel to unlock Lindel. This guy is really easy with a poise crushing build. After that, I fought Godfrey's Shade to get the final talisman pouch. Then, I went down to the Siofra River Well. Here I'll find an elevator that leads up to a secluded part of Caelid, where I'll find the Great Jar that challenges me to 3 duels which are very easily won by spamming Giant Hunt. Winning all 3 will grant me the Great Jar's Arsenal, which increases my equip load by 19%. At this point, I was comfortable enough to continue progression, so I fought Marga. This fight is a dice roll for me. Sometimes I get absolutely destroyed, and sometimes I just win it in the first try. Just like in this playthrough. It isn't even about how broken my build is, because I had a breeze fighting this guy with daggers, but had trouble fighting him with one of the most broken spells in the game. By the way, both of those videos you can find in the description. Anyways, now in Mountaintops, I'll find some more ruins in which I can get another Smithing Zone Bell that'll let me upgrade my Giant Crusher to plus 18. Exploring around the mountains and more will let me upgrade it further. Up here, I can also get some flats to the maximum level, although I forgot to ever do that. After all that comes even more grinding. Yep, I looked at my 5-shot build and said that isn't good enough. The Giant Crusher may crush giants, but it can't crush depression. Grinding included killing Roundtable Knight Vike for 100,000, then doing the Consecrated Snowfield skip to unlock even more bosses. And no, I will never not use this skip unless they fix Commander Niall, or maybe just patch him out completely. That works too. Anyways, in the Consecrated Snowfield, I'll find a Putrid Avatar that gives me 250,000, a Magma Worm that you can just lure into the surrounding enemies, giving you another 200,000, and a very easy Dragonfly boss that gives you 100,000. Before continuing on to the last goal, I want to fight the Fire Giant. This guy has always been a slow fight, but the weak spots give you percentage bonuses. So my high damage got even higher when hitting this guy. I also do a lot of poise damage, but it didn't really matter since I only staggered him once. But anyways, another 200,000. My next goal is to beat Mohg, Lord of Blood. This guy has not once been necessary in any of my recent runs, but the sheer amount of practice that I've had with this guy makes him just so easy to beat. Pair that with him dropping 600,000 runes, and now I'm guaranteed to fight him in every playthrough. Some preparations include the Purifying Crystal tier and the Mohg Shackle for an easier time. After just 2 attempts, I managed to get the win. And here's the fight for you all. One final thing that I did was progress the Volcano Manor quest to fight the Great Horny Thraggoth. Defeating him will give me his armor, which gives quite a lot of defense. I don't remember how much I actually used this, but I'm pretty sure it pops out at some point. After all that, I committed the cardinal sin of premarital handholding and got sent to the land of Mohg. Here I'll find the two foreskins who get absolutely destroyed by the Ball Crusher. This fight was a first try, since it's just a damage chest which I scored 100 on. I fucking hate this sentence. Beating these guys will give me the final smithing stones that I need to forge the God Crusher, which is a very cool name, but we'll be using Ball Breaker instead. Now we get to Malekith. This is where I realized that my build was pretty good, and kind of felt validated for once in my life. The second phase took me some patience and trying to suppress the grub within, and that worked well. While narrating this, I wonder if you would prefer I just show the endgame boss rush, or if I constantly try to act like I'm entertaining. Tell me what you think. Moving on to Godfrey, because no one cares about Gideon. The fight is pretty self-explanatory. Take that one opportunity he gives at the end of a combo to do one Lion's Claw. Simple enough until you realize you've run out of stamina for the next attack that he does. And you just sit there with the knowledge that the next attack is literally undodgeable. Good stuff. Radagon is pretty much the same thing, except lax stamina management kicks you in the face even harder. Other than that, it's all good until he does the hammer attack that will hit you no matter what time you dodge. Seriously, fix this. Elden Beast has always been an easier boss for me, but having a ton of poise damage makes this even easier, as breaking its stance makes it just sit there and kindly let you slap its ass 10 times. Here, I'll let you enjoy the rest of the fight instead of listening to my annoying voice. Now that that's over, I'd like to see what you think. Go ahead, say it's too easy, say it's fair, say I have brain damage, please. It'll give me more comments and that recommends the video more. Like, subscribe, tell me what you want to see next. One incantation, one weapon, one more shitty video, and I'll subscribe. Every idea helps. Thanks for watching.